What's up guys, Rico here, just giving you a team recap and a post-match analysis of my Week 6 FBL match against Camerupts. So, this is the first time I'm doing anything like this, so bear with me, I'm probably going to be sounding pretty stupid, but I thought I'd give it a go, and I thought it might actually help me to reflect on like my plays, and you know, just watching it back and talking through it and stuff like that. So yeah, here it goes. So I've got his team pulled up over here. It's a really offensive team, obviously. Like, he has very few kind of like fat, bulky Pokemon, and mostly they're just like fucking hard-hitting, scary mons. The ones in yellow are his Z captains, by the way. So he's got 3 of those, which is something to watch out for, obviously. So when I looked at his team, the very first thing that I noticed was lack of hazard removal. He has, his only hazard removers are Hawlucha and Vivillon, which obviously neither are like good at hazard removing, or can, like, they're not going to, like, Hawlucha could potentially bring defog, but like I can't see him wasting a move slot for it, and Vivillon is just a terrible hazard remover. So the first thing I did was put in my nice Nihilego here, Syphiledge, the boy, and put Toxic Spikes on him, because I just felt if I could get my spikes up pretty early, it's going to start wearing him down fairly quickly, with pretty much no way of removing them other than Gengar switching, obviously. And the other thing I wanted to do straight away was have a Rocks user. Originally I was going to put that on Syphiledge as well, but I ended up wanting to run these 3 moves for the coverage, and so I ended up giving the Rocks to Sonic here, Lando. So that was like my very first decision, was to bring some way of getting rid of his some way of setting hazards, because I knew that would just put a massive amount of pressure on him, because I knew he was basically not going to be able to get rid of them. And then what I wanted to do initially was try and shut down the majority of his offensive threats, because he just has so many things that, like, just are fucking terrifying, man. Like, he's got a Megalopony, which is like well known for being one of the top killers in Draft League formats. Hooper Unbound, it's just disgustingly powerful. Got a Bulu, Porygon Z can set up in your face, Barbaracle, Shell Smash in your face, Gengar, Vivillon, put you to sleep, Quiver Dance, and Delphox just gets like crazy coverage and can run a load of sets. So I kind of tried to, my full team is here, by the way, because a lot of you guys aren't going to know what my full team is. Well, most of you probably will, because most of you who are going to watch this will be in the league with me, but there you go. So that's my full team there. And I kind of wanted to form a defensive core that would shut down. Oh, that's the replay shit. That would shut down the majority of his team, as well as I could, obviously. So I felt the best 3 mons I had to do that were a combination of specially defensive Alolan Muck, physically defensive Lando, and physically defensive Sizzle. Like, these were just so simple sets. It was just max defense, max HP, max defense, max HP, max defense, max HP, max special defense. So the idea here was that Rick Ross, my Alolan Muck, would deal with all of his special threats. So Porygon Z, potentially a Hooper Unbound, a special Hooper Unbound, Gengar, Vivillon, and Delphox. Literally none of those mons can touch Alolan Muck, like, at all. Like, he just slipped it up. So that was because originally I looked at Alolan Muck and I wanted him as a kind of physical wall for a few of his threats, but then I looked at his special threats and I was like, nah, Muck just completely walls them. He's fucking coming as a special wall. So I slapped I went for the Iapapa Berry and the Recycle set with Gluttony, which is basically reliable recovery, as far as I see it. Even better than reliable recovery in some ways, because the first time you go under half, it does it automatically for you, like, you don't have to click a move. Obviously after that you basically get the same effect as you would with like recover or something, because you click recycle and then you get the effect like probably a turn afterwards. So it's kind of like Wish in some ways, I guess, but slightly better than Wish as well. So I don't know, I'm just mashing my teeth here. But I went with that over like an AV set just for the longevity as much as anything, because I knew if he brought like a couple of these special mons, or 2, 3 maybe, Alola Muck would be switching in like all day, and he would have a lot of work, so it just helped me switch in more than an AV set would, in my opinion. Obviously also it matches up well offensively with the poison coverage for Bulu, and then the pursuit trapping for like Gengar, Delphox, potentially Hooper and Bound. Like after a Hyperspace Fury defense drop, the pursuit trap is quite nice. So yeah, Muck had a really good matchup this week. He could have done a lot of different roles very well this week. Then I put my Lando in. Again, Lando had like quite a good matchup. There was a lot of different sets I could have brung, but I ended up with the Yachi Berry set, mostly for the Mega Lopunny Ice Punch, which I was like 100% certain he was bringing. I knew he would bring it, because for me, like, if I was him and I want to bring Mega Lopunny, when I look through my list of mons here, the first thing I see that stops a Mega Lopunny is a Lando, or stops his stabs. So I put Ice Punch on to try and like deal with it a bit better. So I thought that he would be bringing Ice Punch, and so I put Yachi Berry on. Originally I wanted to run, Lando's my Z-Mon, so I wanted to run Z-Fly to hit things like the Mega Lopunny, the Bulu, the Hawlucha. But I felt Yachi Berry was better for the Mega Lopunny Ice Punch, and also for, I think Hooper does get Ice Punch, for the Hooper Ice Punch as well. That ended up, I'm not going to say what happened, I'm just going to wait for you to watch the battle. So obviously I didn't bring my Z Crystal, which meant I had no real way of hitting like Bulu Lucha, so I ended up putting Psychic on this set, which was kind of funky. Basically to hit Lucha and Mega Lopunny. I kind of felt like he wasn't going to bring Bulu. Well, I was pretty certain he wasn't going to bring Bulu Lucha. Just based on the matchup, like Bulu didn't really have a very good matchup at all, in my opinion, other than the Milotic, really. I keep fucking doing that. I need to stop doing that. It's ruining it. So yeah, that was. Lando just had a pretty good match overall, and rocks, obviously, like I mentioned before, were really important, and U-turns really is nice for momentum. And then to finish off that kind of defensive trio, I went with a physically defensive Sizzle. This was mostly for Bulu, in case he brought Bulu, because obviously Sanic doesn't really deal very well with a Bulu, and it was also for Barbaracle, which was actually one of the scariest mons on his team, in my opinion. Like, that thing did give me quite a lot of headaches trying to prep for, and I felt Sizzle was probably my best answer overall, combined with these other two mons, to be able to tank hits off him at +2 and bullet punch him back. Obviously without the investment, the bullet punch was only doing like 30%, I think, but I just felt that overall with Roost, we would be able to wear him down quite, not easily, but better than a lot of my other mons. It was also for the Hooper. It actually dealt fairly well with a physically offensive Hooper, and also kind of did okay against Hawlucha. That was an okay matchup, but I thought he might be scared of Aerial Ace on this thing for Hawlucha, if he ended up bringing it. So that was kind of my thinking there. But I ended up just going Bullet Punch, Roost, Agility, Baton Pass, which ended up really screwed me up, as you'll see in the game, because I'm a fucking retard and I don't read rules properly. But basically my thinking here was, if I can go agility, bat and pass into one of my 3 offensive mons, I would pretty much win. Like, literally. Or even Sonic, because, you know, once they were chipped down a bit and some of his bulkier threats were gone, EQ cleaned up fairly well against quite a lot of his team. So that was kind of my thinking there, that agility, bat and pass, and plus Scissor was bulky enough to be able to take hits and get the slow bat and pass off into something. So that was my thinking there, but yeah, you'll see later that that was a mistake. So the next mon, I once I got those 3 defensive mons sorted, I was like, yeah, I need something hard hitting now. And the obvious choice for me was this Persimmon. Hayne, that's after Jared Hayne, for any rugby league fans out there. I don't know, maybe hit me up in the comments if you know who Jared Hayne is. So basically, looking at his team, he has so many things that get O-code, or like nearly O-code by Clicks Combat. And I just couldn't not bring this thing. It was also a great way of revenge killing Megalopony. Not revenge killing Barbarical, but obviously putting a lot of pressure on. Revenge killing Porygon Z. It was just so good against his team. The Seed Bomb was for the Seismitoad, because that a physically defensive Seismitoad walled this thing pretty well. Knockoff just for kind of general shenanigans, and for Gengar, and then U-turn just for the momentum, obviously. The Scarf was, I kind of wanted to put Band, just for the extra power, but Scarf was too good to pass up with the opportunity to revenge kill Megalopony. And he just put in so much work overall. He had enough speed to outspeed that Megalopony, and then a bit in HP. And he just put in so much work. And the same was for Shelby. Basically, I just looked at his team, and with the Sunny Day set, which I think I've actually brought every single time so far. Every time I've brought Houndoom, I think I've brought Sunny Day, which I didn't expect to do, to be honest. But looking at his team, he has no resistances to those 3 moves. You go Flamethrower, 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 Solar Beam, Flamethrower, Flamethrower, Dark Pulse, Flamethrower, Dark Pulse. Like, everything dies to those 3 moves. Maybe not gets O-code, but you know, and his speed 2 is really, really nice for this game. I think the only things that outspeed him are Bulu and Megalopony. Yeah, and he outspeeds really important things like Gengar, Delphox, Vivillon, Porygon Z. Like, he just about outspeeds those things. So Houndoom had a really nice matchup as well, and I feel like there was a few times, I'll just leave it to the match basically, but I think I could have used him better than I did. And then finally, I mentioned Sifledge at the start, but basically I just felt he was offensively quite strong as well. Initially, I had this thing with a Focus Sash with Spikes and Stealth Rocks as the lead, just to send it out, get Spikes up, get Stealth Rocks up, and hope that he wouldn't be able to remove those from the field. I ended up changing that when I realised Gengar gets rid of the Toxic Spikes, and I kind of I thought he was going to bring the Gengar. Like, I wasn't sure, but I thought he was going to bring the Gengar. So I ended up getting rid of the Rocks and the Focus Sash, because also I expected him to bring Seismitoad and lead with the Seismitoad, which either he sets his own Rocks, which I really didn't want because I didn't bring a Defogger, or he just goes EQ and knocks me straight to the Focus Sash on turn 1, which is pretty bad as well. So I ended up just thinking, I'll bring Spikes. If I have the opportunity to set them up, that would be great. If not, like, it's not the end of the world. And then the other 3 moves, again, similar to these 2 guys here, just to hit everything neutrally on his team. They had really, I think everything neutrally anyway. They had pretty good coverage. And I went with quite a slow set. Well, not quite slow, but kind of relatively slow, because naturally I didn't outspeed things like Delphox, Gengar, obviously Megalopony, Lucha. So I just went fast enough, I think, for the... Oh, it was for the Porygon-Z. No, maybe it wasn't. Yeah, I think it was Porygon-Z. Yeah. 286. Yeah, he's 90, I think. I don't know, I can't remember what I went for. But, yeah, I kind of put enough in Spadef to tank a few hits, and I wanted the special attack beast boost this game, so I went max special attack with a Life Orb. So that's basically the team. I might as well now get into the game. I've just realised that you're going to see this straight away, but we just go back to here, and I can talk you through my kind of thinking on what happened. I might as well full screen this now. So obviously he brought those 6 Pokemon. Looking at that, I felt really good straight away, because he didn't have the Barbaracle, which was one thing I was really, really worried about. He didn't bring Bulu Lucha, which I didn't expect him to bring, which meant that there was a few things on my team that I left out. Like, Sonic had no way of touching Bulu. What else? Oh, and Hayne had no way of touching Bulu. Like, I could have put a poison move on both of those guys, but I chose not to because I thought Bulu wasn't coming. And obviously if he brought Bulu, that would have been a big mistake, but that ended up paying off for me. And then I basically decided that, or not decided, I realised my Persimmon put in a stupid amount of work. Like, when you look at this team, Persimmon has Seed Bomb for this guy, he has Knockoff for this guy, and Close Combat, Oko's all of these. No, not Oko's. Oko's those two. I think, yeah, Oko's Hooper after rocks, and it 2-hit KOs Porygon without him being able to do anything back to me, really, other than a T-Wave. So I knew I just needed to get damage on the Porygon. And obviously get rid of the Gengar and the Seismitoad with coverage, and then I could just lock myself into close combat on these 4. So that was kind of my plan going into it. I guessed he was probably going to lead Seismitoad to try and get rocks up, and that if he wasn't going to do that, it was going to be the Hooper, probably just to, like, be fucking terrifying because it's a fucking Hooper. so turn the music off, that's too loud. So basically I decided to lead with my Persimmon, and he does actually lead with this thing, like I thought he would, with this fat frog. So Hayne has a nice look at him and thinks, yeah, I fancy some frog's legs for my dinner on the menu. I'm going to eat some frog's legs, and I just click Seed Bomb and knock him out. So I was looking at it thinking, is he going to have the grass berry? Is he going to have the grass reducing berry? I think it's a Rindo berry. I can't remember. Is he going to have it? Is he going to have it? And I thought, even if he does have it, I still do like. It's over 50%, I think. But I really didn't want him to get his rocks up. But I ended up thinking, fuck it, I'm going to kill him. So I clicked Seed Bomb and I killed him. Luckily, he didn't have the berry. And he goes, I guess he kind of predicted me to be locked into a move there, because I don't think he could have OHKO'd me with anything, and obviously a close combat would have OHKO'd him, or whether he just wanted to fake out damage, I don't know. But he ended up going into his Lopunny, and I go into Sonic, who's my kind of dedicated wall for this thing, because I have the ice reducing berry. So he goes fake out there, and he switches out the next turn, which tells me he probably doesn't have Ice Punch as Ice Psychic to try and catch him out on his Ice Punch. So as he does that, I think, okay, he probably doesn't have Ice Punch here. I was worried about that Porygon having Ice Beam, so I U-turned out of it. He switches back into this thing. That kind of surprised me, whether he thought I would switch out there as well, I don't know what he did there, but I go straight to Hayne because it's my Scarfer, and it's dedicated for killing this thing. So I know here that he knows I'm Scarf and he's switching, so I go for the U-turn. And basically I wanted to go into my Houndoom to try and outspeed and Dark Pulse this thing, but I was scared of him being Scarfed and having Focus Blast. So I just went into Rick Ross instead, and he goes for Trick, which I actually for some reason didn't consider at all. So that was kind of bad. Like, it wasn't the end of the world. It just meant I couldn't use recycle as reliably. But he does focus blast, which does nothing, and I kill him with a pursuit, which was nice getting rid of that thing, because that's the 2 switch-ins gone that Persimmon needs. Gone, because he can just lock himself into close combat now and just fucking kill things. So at this point I was disabled there, so I guessed he was going to go agility or nasty plot there. Now on this turn here, this was interesting, because I thought, well, I didn't think, I was worried he was going to be packing psychic, which did like 40-50% to me, I think. So I really wanted to click toxic spikes, because the Gengar was gone, so we had no way of getting rid of them, and poisoning any of these mons would have just been really good. I needed like either rocks or like a turn of poison on Hooper to guarantee the close combat Oko from Persimmon. So I knew I needed some sort of damage on that. So I really wanted to click that, but I was worried that either a crit psychic or a Spadef drop or just 2 psychics would just about take me out. So I ended up just clicking Sludge Wave, because that had a chance to kill. So he goes Ice Beam, which is nothing, and I do kill him there. So that was really nice to get rid of that thing with Syphiledge, and at this point I'm feeling really good. So he goes into his Porygon here, which just completely walls me, and with hindsight I probably should have just clicked Sludge Wave again there, because I just would have started denting this thing. The only recovery he had was Pain Split, so I would have worn it down, but I switched out because I thought he was going to be clicking T-Wave. I felt like this thing would have T-Wave for some of my faster threats like Persimmon, Houndoom, Helgo, those sorts of guys. But he ends up just going for the Pain Split. But I mean, it's not the end of the world, like, he doesn't get any health back really. And I'm into my Sonic here. So I see this as a chance to get my rocks up, to get the damage on the Hooper, as he actually reveals he does have Ice Beam. But I obviously eat it up with my berry, and you turn out into Sizzle. Sizzle. My Rick Ross. Yeah, to try and get rid of this thing's Eviolite. I kind of wanted to poison jab there, because I thought the knockoff was so obvious and that he was just going to go into this thing. But I didn't want to miss the chance to get rid of his Eviolite, because that would have just guaranteed me the win with my Persimmon at that point. So I ended up clicking knockoff, and obviously this thing takes nothing from that. So I think I go back into Lando here to get the Intimidate on the fake out. And I know he's not got the Ice Punch at this point in time, so I just double out here into Sizzle, because I actually was going for differential there, because I felt like I had this game in the bag once Persimmon came in. I just needed to get it in for free, so I was kind of playing for differential there, which I actually did in last week's battle, and it cost me the game, so I don't really know why I was doing that again this week. That's kind of stupid. But I was trying to manoeuvre a way to get Persimmon in for free and click close combat 3 times and win. So I go into Sizzle here, and this is where this match gets weird. So basically, I'm a retard, as many of you probably already know from being in a league with me, and as many of you are yet to find out from listening to my commentary and seeing my retarded plays and those sorts of things. I'm fucking stupid. So before the match, I wanted to bring this Agility Sizzle, because I felt it was really good. Agility Baton Pass Sizzle. And I remembered the guys in the league talking about Baton Passing stats, obviously, and I couldn't remember the rule. So I had a look on the doc, and I didn't see a rules page. And so the next thing I decided to do was search in the Discord server, like keywords like Baton Pass, Speed Passing, something like that. And a message came up saying, yeah, speed passing is fine. Now, that turned out to be wrong. I was reading the wrong thing or something. I don't know what happened, whether someone sent the wrong message, someone had the wrong end of the stick, I don't know, but that wasn't right. There is actually a rules page in the doc for the league, which clearly states Baton passing any stat is fine, other than speed. So you can't pass speed. So because I'm fucking stupid and didn't read that, I tried to bat and pass an agility here on this Porygon because I knew he couldn't touch me. So I was like, yeah, I'll just bat and pass into my Persimmon just for the style points to guarantee the win. And as soon as I do that, the guy who's watching the curator of the league, you'll see in a minute on the messages here, he pops up saying, you can't, I'll pause it now, you can read. So he's like, you can't pass the speed, whatever. So I was like, oh fuck, okay, that was my fault, fair enough. So I switched back out into Sizzle here just to kind of nullify that. So that kind of sucked because it meant that Persimmon took like an extra 40% damage or something than it would have done if I wasn't a retard and tried to fuck up my own life. And it also meant that Sizzle got froze here because of that ice beam, which it wouldn't have had to take otherwise if I was just playing normally and was just trying to win like a normal person rather than trying to be clever and get a 6-0 with fancy bat and pass plays. So hopefully I've actually learnt my lesson this week to just try and go for the win and not to piss around trying to be clever with my differential and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I went into Sizzle, he got froze, and I thought I can't just sit in here and let the Megalopony come in and start clicking Power Up Punch or something like that. So I switch out into my Nihilego, and I can't remember what I do here actually. Oh, wait, what happened there? Did I double? Why did I double? I guess I just predicted the Megalop coming in. Oh, was I trying to sack? Yeah, I was trying to sack this thing, I think. I don't know, I'm not remembering my plays. Yeah, so he actually reveals the Power Up Punch, which I thought he would have, to be fair. I did think he was going to be packing that. And at this point, I'm like, okay, there's the thing that I needed to happen. Amon goes down, I bring my Persimmon in for free, and I can now win. Because he has no forms of priority other than Fake Out. I outspeed everything, and I hit everything, and I OHKO everything. So I go into Hane, and click Close Combat. He switches out there, which I was like, I don't really know why I did that. Like, I couldn't figure it out at the time. So I kill the Porygon, and he comes back in here, and I was like, okay, he's clicking Fake Out. So I ran a calc, and what my calc said to me was that Fake Out did a max of, I think he was 27. I think it said 27%. So I'm at 35. I was like, yeah, I'm good. We just click it again and win. And he clicks Fake Out and I die. So I was like, okay, I just fucked up again, didn't I? I was like, what was wrong with that? And I had no idea what was wrong with the calc. I was so fucking confused until after the match. Fucking Clement Prez, the coach of the White Forest Weedles I'm playing, hits me up and he was like, yo, I think the problem with your damage calc was you didn't include that you were at -1 defense. And I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, I'm fucking stupid, aren't I? So the Fake Out killed my win con because of me calcing like a fucking idiot. So at this point, I actually thought that I lost. I literally thought I lost here. Because he outspeeds the rest of my team, and I don't have anything to take the hit. The only thing I thought I could do was get Rick Ross and maybe get a crit or get a poison or something like that, because he just Power Up Punches. I don't kill him with a poison jab. And I actually thought here, because he hadn't revealed her jump kick yet, I thought he was going to be Fake Out Power Up Punch Last Resort, which would have been absolute flames. That would have been an awesome set. But yeah, I calculated. I knew Rick Ross wasn't living. I was just hoping for the poison on that hit, because obviously my Scissor is frozen at this point. Like, he has Bullet Punch, but he's frozen. So here I'm actually think the game's over. So I said GG, because I was like, Scissor ain't Frost in first turn. No fucking way. There's no way he's thawing out. So I send Scissor in, and what do you know? He thaws out first fucking turn. My fucking boy, my absolute boy Scissor, Red, the legend, winning me the game by thawing out first turn, which I think is, I'm fairly sure it's like 20% chance each turn. I know it works slightly differently to sleep, but I think it's 20% chance each turn, or something like that. So it's pretty lucky that happened. But I mean, I guess you could say he was lucky getting the freeze in the first place. So I guess swings and roundabouts, I guess. But that was definitely lucky for me. After my previous misplays that I thought out and managed to bullet punch him. Now at this point, basically I was most worried about a scarf, a special set with scarf, or a fire punch set with scarf, something like that. I don't know. Well, not fire punch, because I guess Naheligo probably would have lived a fire punch. But yeah, basically I was kind of worried here. Still, because I still thought this thing could beat me, because I had no clue what set it was. He hadn't sent it in yet, but he sends it in. So he sends it in, and I just go for bullet punch here because I felt like it was probably my best play, based on just the information. I didn't know what set it was, and he goes for Hyperspace Fury, which we actually managed to live because Red's a fucking legend and just won me this game. And because of the defense drop, bullet punch guaranteed kills him. So we managed to pick up the W. Much harder than it should have been, based on the matchup, because I think we had a pretty good matchup overall. I had a few mons that just ran through his team. Even though we had a lot of scary threats, I did feel pretty good about the matchup. So yeah, we made it a lot harder than I should have done, but Red pulled through for me in the end, even with me trying to make all sorts of shenanigans with the bat and pass shit with him. I should have just run like fucking standard stuff, and we probably would have been in a much better position, to be honest, but that's my fault for being stupid. So yeah, we pick up the 3-0, which is pretty nice, and that leaves me currently on 4-2. We've got a pretty nice differential with +10, which is like, it's not amazing, but it's not bad. And I actually started this season with, I took over in week 2 from a guy, and he lost 5-0 in the first week, so that definitely hindered me. But it was a pleasure playing Camerupts. He's the White Forest Weedles. He's the coach of the White Forest Weedles, and that was a really fun game, even with all the crazy stuff that I fucked up on. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and hope to see you next time.